welcome to the shop. Okay, now it's time for you to get your first EDF. You want to get a Viper. Everybody says, Viper's a good entry-level EDF plane. First one, success. Couple caveats with all of that is it always really will depend on your skill level. And so that's what I want to talk about today is this plane, how I set it up. I've had it for 1.5 years now. And believe me, I've destroyed it. I've rebuilt it. I've landed perfect. I've totally muffed up landings and ripped off landing gears. So I've done it all with this plane. I kind of want to go through that, modifications, flying styles, techniques, landing techniques. I've already made a video of that, and it seems to help some folks. So I'm going to go through all that. Stick around. Oh, by the way, if you like my videos, hit that little subscribe button right there. Doesn't cost you anything and kind of makes me feel good. Thanks.
All right, let's go into all the modifications, starting at the front. The one thing I noticed when coming in for a landing is I had a hard time seeing it, so adding a nose light was a big benefit to this plane. Now in low light, I can see it pretty well. Every once in a while, you are going to have a landing where you kind of miscalculate. The front wheel's going to smash into the ground, you're going to bounce up or bounce all over the place. I've added a 10mm by 0.5mm carbon fiber strip. Basically the whole front section all the way to the inlets. I basically did this. I saw a lot of Vipers at my field, and it seemed like most of them had been re-glued. The whole front end broke off during a bad landing, so that's what I did to fix it. Landing gear swap. Castle RC has a Viper replacement landing gear that works significantly better, I think. It takes about 10 minutes literally to install these things. I did swap out the tires. I used the Dubro foam tires, 1 3/4. Do not use the rubber kind of inflated ones. You'll slide all over the place. The nose gear has the stock Castle RC tire. I did add some carbon fiber rods and strips to the wing area for a little bit more structure after beating this thing up. Battery compartment, added my typical shelf liner and a better battery strap. A lot of people on RC groups talked about adding some additional weight to the rear. Makes it a little easier to get the CG set up as far as battery movement. So I added about 3/4 ounce underneath the elevator. I hate having exposed wheel weights and such. So I dug out a little foam, put those in there, put the tail section back on over it. Secure, looks good. Had to make it sound cool, so 3D printed little whistle thing. Battery compartment, as far as the battery setup and where it's placed, a 3300 HRB 60C. Where I place my battery is going to be different where you place yours, but this is where I put mine to get the right CG. Speaking of center of gravity, about 85 or so millimeters back. All right, let's talk about flying this bird. All right, taking off full throttle, and it veers off and smashes. I ease into the throttle.
Right, a little bit of flap. Ease into throttle, and she just lifts right up.
Sorry it's hard to see, but this is a stall on my base to final turn. Pretty good winds, and I'm going too slow. Be cautious of that.
So she'll do a stall, or a accelerated stall. That's full. That was just full up elevator.
Those accelerated stalls can end poorly, like this one did. Just going into a loop too low, gave way too much elevator, and she snapped on me. And so be careful of that. Let's talk landings.
Make our turn, gonna hit in full flap. Drop throttle a little, drop throttle a little bit more. Drop throttle completely. Level her out. Get her to kind of just, there we go. Oh yeah. Nice and slow.
You gotta flare enough to land on the mains. A lot of wind, don't use full flap. Use half or no flap. Sometimes you need to give a little throttle on the landings.
Over, pull through, not too much. Just the right amount. Do it again. Roll over, back off throttle, pull through, back on the throttle. When she's locked in, she's really a lot of fun to fly. But she can be, she's just fast, faster than most planes. Everybody says it's a great beginner jet. If you're used to flying fast planes and you're several steps ahead of the planes you're flying, then it's awesome. But if you're not and you're kind of behind your plane's performance of where it's going, I would not recommend this. This gets fast pretty quick, and it'll do things differently than your apprentice for sure. Everything about it, you got to be ahead of it, or else you'll be breaking out the foam tack or redoing a landing gear.
Good luck and thanks for watching.